Kevin, is what they say true when you have your own kids? Is it payback for what stuff you did when you were a kid?
Yes, you name it. Yes, 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 yes. It's all payback. It's all going to come back to you. Absolutely.
Now, Melody, first of all, congratulations on being such an amazing actor, hands down. But I wanted to ask you, Melody, you know, Kevin does have daughters of his own, but what do you think you taught him about being a girl dad?
I guess I taught him, basically, stop. That's not what you do. That's probably something that a lot of dads say. It's just like, you're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, you told me how not to be embarrassing. Like I would do a lot of embarrassing things. And she was like, no, Kevin, no, that's not cool.
DeWanda, I'll start with you. Okay, can we just talk about how freaking cute and smart Melody is? Can we let's just get that right out of the way.
Yeah, she's a young mogul in the making, and I'm so excited that I got to witness it early on.
Lorel, what were you doing at 8 years old? Were you directing scenes in big feature films?
I was like writing shows like Name Your Adventure, asking to be on something.
Oh, that's good.
I really did. It's really crazy. Yeah.
Anthony, being around, fathers on set, your own father, what tips do you think about fatherhood in your own life? What do you think about fatherhood?
Well, I mean, I think it's, it's a lot. I personally don't have kids yet. I want to at some point, but I think, I mean, it's not something that you go into lightly. And I mean, something that you see in this movie is that it's a huge, huge undertaking, and especially being a single father. Like big ups to all the single fathers out there, because it's hard. It's hard, and it takes a lot to get through it.
Gary wanted me to ask you, Kev, if there's a scene in this film where you do Melody's hair. And he wanted to know that if the acting thing doesn't work out, could you go into hairstyling? Do you think that it could work out?
I'm not gonna lie, I struggle. I don't think it could work out. I struggle in the movie and I struggled in real life. It got to the point in real life where I just bought a bunch of hats. I bought a bunch of hats and I said, if it's up to me, I'm gonna throw the baby in some hats until we get to a person that could do it. I'm that guy for sure. So I don't know if I could do it in life.
Also, Melody, wrapping it up, what did you think of Kevin doing your hair? What are your thoughts on Kevin doing your hair in that scene?
No. My hair was basically like a mohawk.
That scene, Andrew, that scene was all improv. That was all Mel improv. That was her with the lines, all the reactions. None of that was written. She lit it up in that scene. It was gold because of her performance.
Awesome. I love the film, guys. Thank you so much. Kevin, this is one of your best roles, hands down. I really loved it. It was awesome.
I appreciate it. Means the world. Tell everybody I said hey over there at Dish Nation, man.
Well, Paul, I'll start with you because I'm thinking about.
I love any interview that starts with "My mom just gave me fruit salad." That's like my favorite thing ever.
I was just thinking, okay, Stranger Things, Kaminsky Method, Fatherhood. Are you the darling of Netflix? Are you like the muse of all Netflix universe?
I like to think so.
That's a yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I was the, if I'm not mistaken, I was the impetus for them starting the whole thing, because they originally, if you remember, they would just send you a DVD in the mail, and I said, fellas, just off the top of my head, what if you made your own shows, and then and people would have to watch you, and then you could put me in a few of them. And they went, that's a good idea. Anthony,
do you concur with that?
I do. I do believe that Paul is the cornerstone of Netflix in general.
So obviously, let's get back to the movie. But Paul, I'll start with you. You're a father, but is fatherhood a way? Did you get, when you were a kid, were you a good kid? Did things come back? Did karma come back when you had your own kids? Of chaos, hijinks?
Yeah, there is an organic, inevitable journey that we all take, and part of that is, your relationship with your parents. And so, like, my kids are in their 20s now, and I see them subtly and not subtly pushing away. It's like, oh, it hurts because I don't you want to hang with me? It's like, no, now I remember from my own childhood, no, you don't. I'm 20. I don't want to hang with my parents all weekend. It's like, right. And so in the back of the nicer side of me thinks, oh, he needs to do that. Yes, he needs to go have a life. But the actual ego is going, stay with me, hang with me. I'm adorable. I'm so fun.
You really are, Paul. You really
Right?
are. It's nothing personal, Paul.
Do you want to talk to my son? Because he doesn't see it, Anthony.
But all these sons, they're just, they go through the phase of like, God, Dad, stop. No, and listen, that's just that sound is programmed into everyone.
I can actually, even in a text, I can see the eyes rolling sometimes. He's rolling his eyes. He's rolling his eyes at me. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So Paul, okay, now Paul, I want you to impart some words of wisdom on Anthony. Now, when Anthony becomes a father in X amount of years, what would you say to him?
I'm going to tell you a story, but I got to name drop a little bit. All right. So this is, and I've shared this story. I did a thing on East Street Radio, and I shared this story. So when we were pregnant, my wife was pregnant, but we were expecting our first son, and we were well along. We're in LA, and we saw some friends, and they happened to be hanging out with Bruce Springsteen. So that's already cool. And I go, oh, and we're walking over to say hello to them. I'm like, oh, the people, that's Bruce Springsteen. So naturally we're chatting, and they had their kids. This was outside, and see my wife's pregnant. And he goes, oh, it's your first kid? I said, yeah. He goes, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going, oh. He goes, I'm going to tell you something. This is going to be the most important thing you hear. I go, Bruce Springsteen is telling me, the boss is telling me the most important thing. And I'm opening my brain. I go, take this in, because this is going to be very important. And he says, in all sincerity, he says to me, when you get the car seat, get the kind that pops out and you can put it in the stroller. You don't want to get two separate things. You have this. And I went, really? That's it? That's what you had for me? But he ended up being right. It's like, yeah, he's very smart. You don't want to get a stroller and then pop it right out. So there you go. From the boss to me to you. From the
boss himself. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you guys so much. I will enjoy my fruit salad.
Tell Mom thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, guys.